les parents. Papa, maman, qu'est-ce qu'on mange pour souper? Vous paniquez un petit peu parce que vous réalisez que vous n'avez pas grand-chose dans le frigo, puis vous n'avez aucune idée qu'est-ce que vous allez leur préparer. Puis c'est à quoi vous y pensez. Vous pouvez passer chez Métro, puis en 2 secondes, ramasser un repas prêt à être préparé, déjà les portions déjà préparées. Puis vous allez même réussir à avoir des points pour votre programme de loyauté, en plus que d'ajouter à votre programme de loyauté chez le gym que vous fréquentez. Bonjour à tous, mon nom est Audrey Delage. Je suis ici aujourd'hui avec mes collègues Sean Murphy et Alicia Roy. Puis on est ici en fait pour vous proposer une stratégie qui va permettre à Métro d'assurer une croissance durable au cours des 5 prochaines années. On va passer au travers de l'agenda de l'ordre du jour suivant aujourd'hui. Donc on a commencé tout simplement par identifier notre problème et le mandat que vous nous avez fixé. On va poursuivre avec une analyse de la situation autant au niveau interne qu'externe de votre entreprise. Poursuivre également avec le cœur du sujet en entrant dans la stratégie, puis aller vraiment dans les détails avec une mise en œuvre et un bilan financier. Donc le problème en fait que vous nous allez présenter aujourd'hui, c'est que le marché de l'alimentation devient de plus en plus fragmenté, surtout avec l'arrivée de nouveaux joueurs, si on veut, dans le marché. Puis ça devient un marché qui est en fait très compétitif en raison des changements des habitudes de consommation. Donc que ce soit par l'achat sur Internet ou par l'entrée de Walmart, par exemple, sur un marché, ça devient un peu plus difficile pour les épiciers de se différencier. Notre mandat a donc été de préparer un plan stratégique pour assurer la croissance de Métro au cours des prochaines années. Notre recommandation est la suivante. Métro doit utiliser ses compétences de base pour tirer avantage des tendances actuelles et ainsi accroître sa présence sur le marché canadien. On va donc maintenant, les 3 objectifs en fait qu'on s'est fixés, c'était vraiment d'augmenter l'attraction des talents chez les jeunes, donc pour attirer des employés de grands talents chez Métro, d'augmenter vos ventes de 35% sur 5 ans, et puis d'augmenter votre visibilité en Ontario, tout comme au Québec. On a commencé au niveau d'analyse par regarder un peu quels sont les différents consommateurs sur le marché de l'alimentation. Donc, on a séparé en 3 catégories. On a Xavier, qui est notre jeune fauché, aux études probablement, ou vient de rentrer sur le marché du travail, il n'a pas un revenu disponible très grand. Marie-Pierre, qui est une maman à tout faire dans la trentaine ou dans la quarantaine. Puis Olivier, qui est un adulte routinier, qui est déjà très confortable dans ses habitudes de consommation. Donc, Xavier, a 18 à 30 ans, justement, fait le revenu disponible. Il recherche surtout des prix compétitifs dans son alimentation, donc veut baisser le prix de son panier le plus possible, puis veut sûrement aller chercher des produits abordables quand même de base, a peut-être une connaissance moins développée de la cuisine, par exemple. La maman à tout faire, elle a un revenu disponible un peu plus élevé, quand même moyen, veut aller rechercher beaucoup la commodité, donc elle n'a peut-être pas le temps de passer des heures au supermarché, mais elle veut quand même réussir à avoir des produits de qualité pour ses enfants, puis peut-être essayer de jouer un peu plus avec ses recettes au quotidien. L'adulte routinier, de 45 ans et plus, a un revenu disponible peut-être plus élevé, mais elle recherche beaucoup la simplicité. Encore une fois, il fait ça depuis des années, aller à l'épicerie, puis il est très habitué aux produits qu'il consomme, donc va peut-être moins sortir de sa zone de confort. Pour toutes ces raisons-là, en fait, nous, on vous invite vraiment à cibler la maman à tout faire dans sa trentaine ou dans sa quarantaine, qui est on the go, qui est dépêchée, mais à qui vous pouvez offrir un produit vraiment de qualité qu'elle recherche pour ses enfants. On a ensuite regardé qu'est-ce qui fonctionne bien chez Métro, qu'est-ce qui est peut-être plus à travailler, à quoi faire attention, puis finalement où investir. Donc au niveau de ce qui fonctionne à l'interne, on sait que votre position financière est très forte dans le moment présent. Vous êtes très réputé pour la qualité, la fraîcheur de vos produits, la qualité de votre service. Puis au Québec, votre réseau est très étendu. Vous avez quand même beaucoup de magasins au Québec, puis quand même, vous commencez à en avoir pas mal en Ontario également. Mais d'un autre côté, au niveau géographique, vous êtes pas moins présent que les Walmart, par exemple, de ce monde. Il y a peut-être encore un effort à faire aussi au niveau du recrutement pour aller vraiment stimuler l'intérêt que les jeunes ont à poursuivre une carrière chez Métro. On veut que vous fassiez attention donc, à ces facteurs-là, au changement des habitudes de consommation, évidemment, comme on l'a vu sur le marché alimentaire. Les gens changent constamment, donc il faut s'adapter à tout ça. Puis au marché très compétitif, surtout avec les nouveaux entrants. Tout ça, finalement, nous mène vers des opportunités d'investissement comme celle-ci, donc l'attraction de jeunes talents, l'adaptation aux tendances et puis les partenariats. Donc, mon collègue Sean va maintenant poursuivre avec une analyse des options qui se présentent à nous aujourd'hui.
Excellent. So keeping those analysis tools in mind, the question fundamentally facing Metro here is what do they do in the future? Well, the first option is to acquire different grocery chains across Canada. There are some tempting options in Western Canada. The only thing there, I know that Metro has a very strong financial position, but the question is more always better than being more focused and really being unique in what you offer. The second option here is pharmaceuticals. Now again, just like acquiring grocery stores, this is high risk. This is a lot of money we're talking about. And is that fundamentally where consumers, what they want, what they imagine, what they'll want in the future, is it really going in that direction? In this third option, we address that question to an extent. This organic growth option, which will be going into your current stores and differentiating what you provide, finding new ways to give the same products and feeling to your customers in new, unique ways, is the mandate of this third alternative. It's a little bit less risky, and it's going to focus on your current geographical position, which is mostly in Ontario and Quebec. And it's going to improve the customer value proposition, as I've already iterated. So fundamentally, based off this quick assumptions and analysis of these three, we recommend this third final strategy for achieving sustainable growth for the Metro brand.
All right, thank you very much. So Metro is a great company, and Metro has done very well, but we believe that Metro can grow even farther and achieve greater profitability. So we focus on three key areas here. One is currently where Metro is limited attraction of young talent. Sales grew by 4.6% last year, and Metro has a well-defined presence in Ontario as well as in Quebec. However, we want Metro to go even farther to achieve the objectives that we set out. So that would be increasing the junior recruitment rate, sales growing by 7% yearly, as well as really increasing the visibility in Ontario and Quebec in your consumers' perception. So this can be done by really focusing on three key functional areas. And so this would be human resources, marketing, and logistics, and these are all areas that we touch on our strategy. So as Audrey mentioned before, our recommendation is that Metro must use its core competencies to capitalize on consumer trends and grow its presence within the Canadian market. And so we set out a three-pronged strategy in order to do this that really focuses on increasing the Metro experience, focusing on welcoming, convenient, as well as a personalized experience for consumers like Marie-Pierre. So with our first pillar, which is welcoming, the first portion is really focused on recruitment. So having a campaign around be part of the Recipe campus tour. And so first, this would really hit on campuses in McGill as well as Concordia, so campuses in Montreal where the Metro headquarters are, and really finding ways to talk to young people. We really want to find a way for your company to really reach out to young people and really tell people more about the experience behind the grocery store, so the people that make the grocery store happen. And so we came up with an idea of be part of the recipe by having each functional area as being an ingredient in the recipe, and then having this in an interactive display on your website that can be shown to students on campus through iPads, and letting them see all the different types of experiences that they can have by being part of the Metro recipe. So in addition to giveaways, in addition to handouts, you can have these interactive experiences that will really engage students as they walk by and help Metro to be a little bit more memorable in their minds as they are looking for employers. We then would also encourage Metro to offer benefits attracted to specifically younger consumers. So not just wellness and health benefits, those are important, but also benefits that would really help to target this audience by having things such as money for maybe social events for the younger workers, or having benefits to encourage them to decorate their office space and make it feel a little bit more like at home. The idea by having this is really to make them feel like Metro it then becomes part of them and is really somewhere where they belong and that they can make their own experience. And this will be very important in order for consumers to want to, for students and to attract younger demographics, to really make them feel like this is where they want to be and really to get their loyalty at such a young age. We also would encourage having a double mentorship program to not only help to attract this young talent, but to really help to project and create a vision of the future. So when they work at Metro, where can they go from there? And going farther to try to figure out where they want to be. And so by creating this double mentorship program, you give them a goal, you give them a target. You say, if you work here, you do these hours, this is what you could be, this is where you could go, and this is really how you would be able to accomplish this. This is what people are doing, and this is what you're working toward. By creating this type of spark, by creating this interest in them, they'll be more likely to try to work harder and be encouraged to go and work harder. And this will be a great way of attracting young talent to Metro. So as we've mentioned for our objectives, really by having this part of the recruiting pillar, you'll then be able to increase your junior recruitment rate, as well as increasing your visibility in Ontario and Quebec, both on campuses, but also through word of mouth as more and more people learn about what Metro is currently doing. So by doing this, you'll be able to grow by talent acquisition. Secondly would be convenience. So we know that convenience is a very big important part for consumers, and especially consumers such as Marie-Pierre, who are very busy. So the first portion is initiating delivery in the Greater Toronto area, as well as continuing and furthering delivering efforts in Montreal and Quebec, as you have currently started to do. So we know that delivery is a very important part because people are becoming more and more busy, and this is becoming a greater trend in the industry. And so what we would encourage is to really find a way to increase the delivery services. So we know that you have about 27 stores in Montreal, in the Montreal area. We would encourage that you would increase the delivery from 3 stores, as we know it's been successful, to really cover the greater Montreal area and spend the money to invest and renovate in store to facilitate delivery. So it would be very important to help Metro to stay competitive, then also find a way to really add extra value to consumers. So not only are you a grocery store, but you're a grocery store that's convenient for them, that comes to their home. So this can be done through having a $5 delivery fee and then having free delivery, say over $100. We would also encourage that you would start in the Greater Toronto area to really solidify your position in the Ontario market. And this can be done through the same process as what started in Montreal. Try it out, make sure it works, and open 3 or 4 stores with the delivery, to introduce the delivery option to 3 or 4 stores to ensure that it's feasible and to figure out any other things that need to be figured out before you really launch it on a grand scale. The second part is the ready-to-go prepackaged meal option, as my colleague inferred to at the beginning. And this is really the idea of making it convenient and accessible for people to have hot meals, but still making it a lot easier. So these prepackaged meals would be pre-cut vegetables, maybe pre-seasoned meat, so that they can make this at home, but everything's been pre-prepared. So there's no mess, there's no preparation. They can take it, go, throw it in the pot, and have meals from Metro. So this is a great way for Metro to really differentiate itself, because you're allowing consumers to really have hot meals, you're making it a lot easier for them, and you're increasing the value proposition of your grocery store. So not only is it a grocery store, yes, food can be found everywhere, but you're a grocery store that really caters to their needs and also tries to make it easier for consumers to get the food that they need and make the meals that they want to have. So we can really have this integrated into both the app and the website that you currently already have by finding ways to feature this. So whether that's maybe introducing some ethnic foods and having this show up on one of the first pages on the app or on the website, to have recipes that would be on the app and the website to make it more dynamic, to have people coming back and trying out different things with the prepackaged meals. All this would really help to make it a lot more interesting and exciting for consumers and really bring them back to Metro. So Metro becomes more than a grocery store, it becomes a habit and it becomes a routine, so it becomes a lot more exciting for them. Then the idea with both the delivery as well as the ready-to-go meal packages is this can really become integrated into the Metro et Moi loyalty program. So with the Metro et Moi loyalty program, we know that you're able to track your consumers' behaviors. We know that you're able to really figure out what people are buying and reward your consumers for being loyal to Metro. So first with the delivery, for example, you would then be able to figure out if your consumers are buying, which areas they're buying from, so you can tailor your delivery, but you can also reward them for having these delivery services. And really maybe it gives them a loyalty program, so if they were one of the first couple hundred, maybe they get one first free delivery. Or if they do it over a longer period of time, then maybe they rack up points to get a free delivery. And so this is one way to keep encouraging consumers to come back. The other thing would be for the ready to go. You really want to find a way to introduce this, what best way to put it maybe on the front page of your website as well as your app. But going forward to that, you can also find ways to introduce it by having a social media marketing campaign tied into your Metro et Moi loyalty programs, finding ways to really increase the visibility of both of them, both on social media, and also finding ways to really introduce your ready-to-go packages through these programs and really making them a tailored thing, so you're able to raise the visibility as a whole of Metro. And then by doing this, you will be able to increase the growth by customer retention. So you would be able to really find a way to really keep your existing customers and make it more attractive for them. Now Audrey will take you through the last pillar of the strategy.
Donc notre troisième pilier de la stratégie, en fait, vise vraiment à personnaliser les services et les produits pour le client qu'on cherche vraiment à viser, soit la maman à tout faire dans sa trentaine, dans sa quarantaine. Qu'est-ce que ça veut dire? Mais en fait, cette maman-là est toujours on the go, est toujours un peu pressée, mais elle peut peut-être aller au gym une fois de temps en temps par semaine, et probablement abonnée à un gym comme Good Life Fitness par exemple. Elle peut être essayer des nouveaux produits d'artisans une fois de temps en temps, faire plaisir à sa famille, puis se faire plaisir à elle-même en cuisinant également. Alors, on vous propose en fait d'entrer dans des partenariats avec une entreprise comme Good Life Fitness, où ce serait tout simplement une collaboration, peut-être essayer de collaborer avec vos programmes de loyauté pour que d'accumuler des points à un endroit puisse vous aider à avoir des bénéfices à l'autre. Et évidemment, Good Life aurait, si on veut cette entente-là avec vous, de faire la promotion de vos produits également. D'un autre côté, ça l'aide vraiment à promouvoir plus qu'un produit, plus que tout simplement un lieu de vente, mais ça devient vraiment un mode de vie dont vous feriez la promotion. On vous invite aussi à développer justement des partenariats avec des artisans. Donc peut-être justement avec les boîtes ready to go ou prêts à préparer, dont on parle depuis tantôt, une fois de temps en temps avoir une boîte artisan de la semaine ou quelque chose qui serait préparée, même conçue par un artisan, puis qui mettrait vraiment de l'avant ces produits-là, que les gens aiment essayer de temps en temps. Puis on sait que Metro a déjà une réputation un peu plus haut de gamme que certains de ses concurrents. Alors c'est vraiment un bon endroit, une bonne épicerie pour essayer une initiative de ce genre. Ça l'aiderait aussi vraiment à utiliser les tendances de consommation comme les produits santé biologiques et spécialisés que les gens recherchent de plus en plus aujourd'hui et qui sont parfois très difficiles à trouver en épicerie. Puis en plus, ça montre une façon, si on veut, aux clients de cuisiner ces produits-là qui sont un peu plus nouveaux sur le marché, puis auxquels on peut être un peu plus hésitant ou réticent de temps à autre. On vous invite aussi à faire la promotion de ce modèle-là en listant des blogueurs. Donc on sait que l'Internet et les réseaux sociaux sont très efficaces pour la promotion pour plusieurs entreprises. Alors pourquoi pas aller utiliser des blogueurs de style de vie, des blogueurs de sport par exemple, qui pourraient démontrer justement que Metro a cette boîte-là, Ready to Go par exemple, qui ont fait en collaboration avec Good Life Fitness pour montrer le plat idéal après une session au gym par exemple. Donc alors ces personnes-là pourraient montrer comment on le cuisine, comment on le prépare à la maison, puis à quel point c'est un produit frais, de qualité, mais aussi très commode. Ça va vous permettre vraiment, selon nous, ce pilier-là, d'augmenter vos ventes de près de 35% sur 5 ans, puis d'augmenter votre visibilité en Ontario et au Québec, surtout grâce justement aux blogueurs, puis à votre présence sur les réseaux sociaux. Charles va maintenant vous parler de comment tout ça va prendre place grâce à la mise en œuvre.
Perfect. So as she's mentioned, we have a concrete set of ideas and a way to go forward for the Metro brand. But what are the details behind that? What are the concrete actions that are going to take place throughout the 5-year process? I'm going to take you through that right now. So there's 3 phases in this implementation. The first 2 last a year and the last one is 3 years. In the first phase here, you're going to begin store renovations. Now, whether this is getting ready to receive various goods in the store for delivery purposes for your customers, as we assume the volume of those types of deliveries will go up, or whether it's renovating for the hot-to-go stores, you're going to be revamping a lot of your stores, a lot of key areas in those stores, and giving them a fresh and exciting look for the customers, given these big changes. That's going to cost $10 million. Now, secondly, in terms of supply chain, keeping up with this large demand of different orders that are going to be coming through your locations, you're also going to get an RFID information system, integrate that with your enterprise resource planning system that you have in-house currently. So you're going to buy that, and to a certain extent, you're going to integrate that with your current system within around 2 years. And then you're going to have that new capability using RFID to make sure all your goods, whether they're in one store or the other, or en route or in transit, you're going to be able to track that easily to make sure that there are as little hiccups as possible when meeting those customers' demands. That's going to cost $4 million. And the third step here, as they've already mentioned, is going to be building partnerships with organizations and different people within mostly Montreal and Toronto starting off. Whether it's with a company like Good Life Fitness, as they've mentioned, promoting a strong, healthy brand, those positive associations, or finding local artisans who can offer different unique foods within your stores and your hot and ready to go selection. You're going to be partnering with those different people in that first phase of the implementation.
How many stores do you have in mind there for your $10 million?
Approximately 60.
60 stores?
Yeah, staggered.
Okay.
So over the course of the 5-year implementation, you're going to be doing the key ones first and then moving on where necessary. All right, now in the second phase here, you're going to launch the home delivery service. So now that your information system is in place, and now that your stores are renovated, you can start to really deliver that even more so than you did before in Montreal and Toronto. So that's going to be going door to door and giving people what they've asked for in a simple, convenient way, something that wasn't done previously. And secondly, you're also going to introduce your junior benefits program that they mentioned. So once you've started to get a lot more students in because of these campus recruiting programs, how do you really get them to feel like this is the right place and they make the right choice? Well, by having mentors that'll help coach them throughout this process, give them something to aspire to and something to learn from. That should really get them excited about working at Metro specifically over any other competitor. Third section here is going to be hiring and training employees. So yes, by taking into account increased delivery, more traffic within the stores, and by offering this hot and ready to go section, you're going to have to take in a lot of new employees. So over around, let's say 50 stores, you'll be getting around 2 or 3 new employees, so that's 150 in total. So that's the human resources cost, and that's going to cost $1 million. And finally, once you have all these other things in place, your people, your information system, your ideas, and your look, you're going to launch a marketing campaign to really inspire the people so that they see you outside of the stores. So whether they're on the street or it's a video on social media or maybe even advertisement, they're really going to see, if I'm shopping somewhere else, I should really start going to Metro because it really seems that they keep attention at what I like and what I need as a person. That's going to cost $2.5 million. Now, in the final phase...
Sorry, no investment for the home delivery?
The home delivery investments, a lot of the infrastructural investments necessary to take that out, whether it's the RFID or information systems that will absorb that cost. So in this section here, we didn't put a cost because most of the costs going into it are covered in other sections. So once you've introduced the ready-to-go section for your meals, which again is not going to cost that much because it's already covered, you're going to move on into the rolling out home delivery across new locations. So as I said, we're going to focus on certain locations in Montreal and Toronto first, the biggest ones, but as the system is hopefully successful and continues to expand and more people are using it, you're going to start moving into other cities, other locations that weren't previously touched. This is going to cost $2 million to make room for any growth there that's necessary. And the third step, you're going to adjust and inspect to a certain extent the degree to which that marketing campaign has reached the right people. Is it giving them the right ideas? How do they feel about it? Have they seen it? Are they getting excited about this? So by using surveys, little assessments with employees, asking marketers who work in the company what their perceptions have been, perhaps you can adjust that, reach different channels, and try different ways to start to engage them to a greater extent. That's going to cost $2 million. And the last step here is, because you've reached a lot of people through traditional channels, why not go to the blogosphere? Why not go to social media and really start to engage with younger people too? Now I understand that the target market here is first and foremost middle-aged people, but once you want to start to get other age groups inspired and excited, you can go on the internet and touch them in that way. That's going to cost $500,000. So now that I've taken you through the first 3 phases of the implementation, I'm going to move on to the financial information here and just give you a quick overview of the numbers behind all of this. So by increasing your growth rate from which is around 4% a year on average to 6% a year on average, or by increasing your overall sales growth by 35% over 5 years, it is hoped that you'll be able to have an extra $83 million in profits at your disposal. Now, on top of this, or taking that into account, the costs I went over previously sum up to $26 million. Those are your explicit implementation costs. But on top of that, you have some ongoing costs, which consist of delivery costs to a location, any home, next to a store, to new employees, and also a fleet of trucks to take into account this increased growth. So taking those costs into account, your ROI over 5 years is going to be 97%, or give or take around 20% per year. And now just a couple assumptions really quick. So again, you're going to be growing your sales by 7% a year. The cost of delivery is around $15, and the rest is already been mentioned. So on that account, I'd like to pass it off to Alicia here for some concluding remarks.
So what we've taken you through is a strategy that will really help Metro to grow and improve its company, to find a way to really help Metro to take that next step and solidify its position in the Ontario and Quebec market. The great news is you have all the assets you need, now we just need to redeploy them and make them even better. And so with having this strategy, you will be able to propel Metro forward by having and attracting even greater young talent. You'll then be able to increase sales to people such as Marie-Pierre by increasing sales by amplifying your convenience as well as their accessibility. And then with the extra part of the partnerships, by having the ready-to-go, you'll be able to provide additional value in line with current trends. So whether that's using the ready-to-go to have hit on ethnic trends, organic trends, you'll be able to do all this and really make the Metro experience even better for consumers such as Marie-Pierre and your overall customer base. Merci beaucoup pour votre temps.
Thank you. Thank you for your presentation. Des questions en français ou en anglais, je sais pas. Peu importe.
Ask them in English, I think, and then
Yeah.
I'll answer in French and they'll answer in
Okay,
English.
fine. So thank you for the presentation. Some interesting things there. I got a few questions. So clearly you're suggesting to us to grow organically, not through acquisition. So my first question is, why not acquisitions?
Well, Metro's always wanted to differentiate itself as a company, and there are a lot of other companies who have been acquiring. But if you really want to stand out in the mind of the consumer, why not try something different? By buying other companies, whether it's in pharmaceuticals or grocery chains, you're getting more, but you're not getting something unique. And if you want to stand out in the mind of the consumer, doing something different than hasn't been done is a way to do that, we think. And also because so many great chains have already been bought, especially in pharmaceuticals, there just aren't that many attractive offers. I know that there are some on the West Coast, but given that geographic distance, perhaps right now, given that Metro's core territories are on the other side of Canada, it just didn't seem like the right choice to us.
Now, are you comfortable with your sales assumption, the growth of sales? 35% over 5 years, that's a significant increase in sales year over year. We're in a very mature market. Population growth is 1%, 1 point something percent. We're lucky if we have inflation of 1 and 2%. So it means that by growing 7% a year, or 6 point something compounded, we're taking a lot of market share from someone else. So how comfortable are you with your sales projections?
So the great news about Metro is that Metro, everyone needs food, right? So groceries are a thing that's very important for everybody. And so the difference with Metro is how can it really take the market away from consumers? Well, we believe that away from other people so you can reach more consumers. And so the idea is with the delivery option, you're making it a lot more accessible. You're bringing something that people know, but you're making it so much easier for them through the website and through the app for them to get the food that they need. And you're making it just much more easier, so then why wouldn't they pick Metro over another brand? The other thing too is we believe having the ready-to-go option. This is something that people like, they order online. There's a lot of online services that are doing it, but it costs a lot of money, it's far away, people don't know what type of state the veggies are going to be in when it gets there. By having this ready-to-go option, you allow people to, such as Marie-Pierre, to really have quick food, fresh food, but you're making it a lot easier for them to do so, and it's really right at the doorstep, and really backed by the reputation that your company has. They won't be worried about what type of food they're going to get. They know it's going to be excellent.
You didn't touch a lot on discount, and it's the fastest growing segment in the clean food industry. You touched your strategy is really focused on our conventional banners, the Metro banner in Quebec, Ontario, with the loyalty, with the e-commerce, with the in-store experience. What are your thoughts on discount as a growth lever? The discount banner like Super C, Food Basics.
Yeah, so what I can say to that extent is that a lot of the operational changes, a lot of the offerings we make could also be applicable to those discount stores. So whether it's increasing information systems, infrastructure, offering these ready-to-go offerings, any of those changes can be applied to any type of store you have. Of course, the price of the goods that you're going to be offering is going to be different depending on the chain, or rather the mark you're looking at. But fundamentally, the things that we have done, whether it's, again, being in the blogosphere or outreaching people in a specific way through specific channels, those can be applied to all your chains, wherever they are in Canada and whatever the brand they're under.
Going back to the ready-to-go, there's more and more company launching that concept, like little startups. Should we be buying one of those startups, or should we build it from within the company?
Well, what I would say is that Metro has a great deal of expertise and trust. There's a lot of weight that goes under the name of Metro. I'd say, at least in terms of grocery stores, you always know that there's a premium in quality and expectation. By buying a little different startup, maybe you're not able to consistently capture that image that you want to give to customers. And given all of your resources, whether it's people or expertise, it seems like it's something that also, given your strong financial position, that you're well positioned to do yourselves.
And e-commerce, you're seeing e-commerce at the Metro banner only, or at other banners that we have?
So we would really focus on having Metro, like the e-commerce under the Metro banner. So we know that there are also costs associated with having e-commerce, and with discount stores, obviously the margins will be less because it's discounted, it's cheaper. And so we really want to ensure that Metro's in a place to really benefit from these initiatives you're having. So not just to have initiatives for the sake of having initiatives, but to have initiatives because it's beneficial for the consumer as well as profitable and beneficial for Metro. And so we found that this is something that would really fit very well under the Metro name. That Metro name is very big and has a lot of influence and a lot of geographical reach, so it's very important to have it there. But maybe a little bit less for the discount stores, which are maybe not as well known. So some of these initiatives can be, but for the big, expensive initiatives, we first and foremost wanted to focus on Metro.